Hello my quilting friends, my name is Leah Day and welcome to this free motion quilting tutorial on olive oil. That is the design I am quilting today. So this begins with a nice long curvy line and you come to a teardrop on the end. Now we're going to stitch inside of that teardrop and then we're going to stitch a circle. So it's like a teardrop inside of a teardrop with a circle on the end. That creates what looks like, I think, a little olive. I like that. All right, so now we're going to come to the tip of that teardrop shape, swing out and around, and try and echo that shape evenly all the way down. So, you know, my thumb just moved and I wobbled a bit. That's okay. I would not rip that out. I'm just going to try and be a lot smoother with my movement. And you can see how sometimes it's really helpful to just rotate your quilt all the way around. And then now I have both hands on both sides of the needle, nice and even, and that resulted in a much smoother line. So yeah, definitely watch out for that. And then also what I did was just echoed it 2 times more. I'm gonna come around and do another echo this way. Please don't worry about turning your quilt around, turning any kind of small block around. It's kind of the reason why we stitch small blocks. It makes it easier and a lot more fun. So never hesitate to turn it around if it doesn't feel right to you. All right, so I've got a little weird gap over here, so I'm going to fill that in with just some wiggly lines. Really, the way that you can tell how to fill in any space is to cover up part of it with your hand and just see what the texture looks like. And then that's what I usually stitch into these odd areas. So there we go. I'm just going to stitch some back and forth lines. And those are the basic rules for olive oil. It is a branching design with a teardrop base. And then it's just a matter of building up and quilting nice echoes, curving lines throughout the background to keep it consistent. The really beautiful flowing texture. So now let's switch over to the long arm to see how this design is going to be quilted on a real quilt. Okay, so here is olive oil in a narrow border. This is about maybe 3 inches wide or so. And I am carefully travel stitching. Not very well, honestly. You know, this is one of those things where, you can always throw more thread at it. Or you can just say, okay, every time that you don't travel stitch well, that's just another time that you had an opportunity and it was just practice. That's all this is. This is practice. Okay, let me come out and make that olive oil shape. Go inside with my echo, swing around with my circle, and come back down. And I'm getting a little bit of bounce. I find that distracting, so I'm going to try and move my bag of beans over on this side because I know I'm going to be mostly echoing a bit to there, but really not going to come out that far. All right, now let's try. Yeah, already that's just a little bit more control. I've got both hands on my handlebars. So I move the long arm around. Travel stitching, much better. The key is just to go slow. All right, travel stitch carefully that way. I find myself holding my breath, which is hard to do while you talk. So it's quite tricky. And it's one of those things where, yeah, it's concentration, it's focus, but it's just muscle memory practice, I think. So much easier to do those nice pulls where you have a nice straightaway. As far as dealing with these weird areas, same thing as before. Just try and make it look consistent. Try and make it look nice. I think mixing it up a little bit, sometimes going with some just really irregular shapes is nice. I've kind of done the same angle for my teardrop twice, so I'm going to try and think about maybe kind of swirling it around this time. Something like that. That's more interesting. Go inside. Make my circle, come back out, and then swirl out and around. There we go. It's kind of a combination, you're pedal to the metal almost, just really, really cranking it for those nice big straightaways, those nice big curves. And I'm almost going too fast at those times. My machine is beeping at me a little bit whenever I do that. I'm going a little too fast. But then there's just the careful travel stitching. So it's a mentality of, kind of speed up where you have the opportunity to speed up and then immediately slow down for the careful travel stitching like right here. All right, swing out and around. Yeah, again, just going really, really fast through those areas. I'm not so sure if that's good. Maybe instead of swinging out quite so fast when I feel comfortable, trying to maintain a slow, steady pace all the time would be better. That's just an idea. Let's give that a go. I'm going to swirl out this way, make that a little bit bigger. This is another design that I just feel like it is wanting to get big. I feel like this is going to be a good all-over fill. Yeah, so I'm trying to maintain a slow, steady speed this time. It's hard, you know, when you get kind of an open area, it's really tempting to just whip the long arm around and speed up. It's just so tempting. It's hard to resist. I'm going to swing back and forth. Getting a little bit on the messy side. I think it's because I've got some bounce going on. I'm going to move my bag back there. There we go. Okay, and you can see I'm kind of bending this around a corner of this border, so it gives you an idea of how to turn with it. I really think this is going to be better, though, as an all-over fill, where you just take this design and cover your entire quilt with it. You know, swirl around, fill in the space. I think that the more space that you put between your lines, of course, it's going to take up that much more space, and it's going to be a lot less fiddly than this, especially all the travel stitching. You know, this would definitely be a design where I wish I had a lot more space open, that I advanced the quilt beyond the border a little bit. But I'm still really happy with how this turned out. If you have a border that, you know, is a little bit wider, let's say maybe a 6 to 10 inch border, and you really want some nice flowing movement, then I think olive oil is a great choice. So that's it for olive oil, both on a home machine and on a long arm. My name is Leah Day, and I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. You might be wondering whenever I'm talking about the bag of beans when I'm moving around, this is just a 1 pound 4 ounce bag of 15 bean soup. Pretty much any bag of beans or rice will work great. I like this. It provides a little bit of pressure going down on my ruler plate on my machine bed. It gives me just a little bit more control over the movement. Remember, on a home machine, we're moving slow and steady because we're pushing the quilt under the needle. So really fine to control travel stitching, while they take practice, certainly, probably going to be easier to master on a home sewing machine going much slower. On a long arm, these things take time, and as you can see, even though I've been playing on these long arms for about 3 years now, I still have a lot to learn when it comes to travel stitching, a lot of muscles that I need to build in my arms in order to be able to do this. And a lot of that, the reason why I haven't built it is because I haven't had to. I've been quilting designs like stippling that are open, that don't require any travel stitching at all. So understand that it's easy to get into a rut, it's easy to do the easy thing, and playing with all of these designs is a great opportunity to stretch your legs, to experiment, learn new designs and new techniques. Echoing and travel stitching, those are the two killers. No matter what machine that you use, those are the two techniques you absolutely have got to master. And it just takes time and practice and quilting lots of quilts and quilting lots of designs that require those two techniques. There's no magical bullet, guys. You just have to put in the time and effort, really, quite honestly. So that's it for this video. I am a machine dealer, and if you'd like to check out the two machines that I use, the Everstone Sparrow 20 and the Grace Cunique 14 Plus or 15R, come and check out my machines at leahday.com/machine. If you'd like to find more free machine quilting videos, check them out at leahday.com/FMQ. Until next time, let's go quilt.